Hey everybody, and welcome back to We the Revolution. Let's go ahead and get started here. Back to Act 1, Day 10. Common folk still don't like us, but that's typical. And here's Robespierre saying how great we are and then we may be coming for him. We saw that in the last episode, and that now we know that the aristocrats are a thing. Yep, and it's going to explain the aristocracy. That's how you pronounce that word. So who are you again? I'm Thomas de Mahy, Marquis de Favras. Marquis de Favras, you have been accused of taking an active part in a plot against the people of France. I fail to understand how any of the deeds I'm accused of would harm the people of France. You want to re-establish the fallen monarchy that brought us exploitation, hunger, and misery. That's right. We have strong evidence, testimonies of your officers clearly showing that you wanted to abolish the revolution. Please tell me everything about that strong evidence you have against me. How brazen. So, definitely, let's check the stats. What would happen if we chose each option? If we chose the death penalty, the common folk would like us a lot and the aristocracy wouldn't. If we sent them to prison, the common folk would not like us too bad, or too much. If we acquitted them, we're bad news. Not quite to death, but pretty close. So, and what do we want to answer? Did the defendant confess to his crime? Was it his act counter-revolutionary nature? It always is, according to the fellow over here on the right. What do the defendant think about? What does the defendant think about the revolution? And what were the 2 million francs? I think we said last time. Let's just call them francs. It's easier for me to remember. What was the 2 million francs spent on? So, what are the accusations? The Marquis de Favras is a 46-year-old aristocrat, former soldier, and currently a political activist sympathizing with the monarchy. After he left the army, he married and started traveling across Europe with his wife. During that journey, he both fulfilled himself politically and supported his wife. He returned to Paris in 1789 and took part in a conspiracy which is supposed to put an end to the revolution. De Favras showed poor judgment when he decided to confide in his former comrades who betrayed him and informed the authorities of the plan. De Favras is expected or suspected of playing a huge part in Citizen Capet's escape from France. The plotters asked him to take out a loan of 2 million francs, which would have covered all the expenses of the citizen, the former king, and his family on the way out of France. That's a lot. How many bills did this man have that he needed 2 million francs to do something? I don't know what 2 million francs was worth in whatever 1789, whatever this is, but sounds like a lot of money. If everything had gone according to plan, 30,000 soldiers would have entered the capital city with orders to kill 3 political leaders. Is that what the 2 million francs were for? Finance Minister Jacques Necker, the Mayor of Paris Jean-Sylvain Bailly, and Commander-in-Chief of the Parisian National Guard Francois Henriot. Hey, we know Mr. Henriot. The next step was to block food supplies from entering the city. The Favras and his wife have been detained and accused of plotting against the people of France and the revolution, and will likely be sentenced to the guillotine. The Count of Provence has denied having any connections with them. And the evidence is a letter from the Marquis de Foucault. De Favras, where are your troops? From what direction will they enter Paris? I should like to be employed among them. So someone honestly... Well, you know what? That leads to believe that he had troops, or he was supposed to have troops, but it could just be someone that heard a rumor. I mean, this isn't real evidence, as far as I know, but, you know, I don't know what standard of evidence they had in 17, whatever this is. So let's ask the questions. Or unlock the questions, excuse me. There's one trap. 3 possible mistakes we can make. We need to find his motive. We need to identify the accusation, show the evidence, show what piece was counter-revolutionary, and explain the offender's personality. The letter sounds like evidence. The loan is it's either an accusation or it's counter-revolutionary. Conspiracy? That's counter-revolutionary, for sure. Return to Paris? I don't know. That sounds like a trap. Supporting his wife may also be a trap. The defendant's wife also could be a trap. Sympathy towards the monarchs? That's an accusation? That's not an accusation. That's a offender's personality? That's counter-revolutionary? I mean, it sounds like a lot of things, honestly. Former soldier, that's the offender's personality? Yep. Loan is the... What is the motive? Supporting his wife is the motive? Return to Paris is the motive? Hold on. He supported his wife. He returned to Paris in 1789. What does his wife have to do with it? Dr. Favras and his wife have been detained. Come back to the questions, please. We are running out of options. We may need to spend our influence points to solve this. The loan is an accusation? Yes, thank you. Return to Paris, supporting his wife, the defendant's wife. We have to find out what is counter-revolutionary and offender's personality. Return to Paris. That's counter-revolutionary because he returned to Paris to stop the revolution? Was a trap. Okay, we have 0 possible mistakes we can make now. Supporting his wife. The defendant's wife. Supporting his wife is his personality? And the defendant's wife is counter-revolution? What did I miss about the defendant's wife? Alright. Well, I don't really know where we're going with you. I don't know if you're guilty or not, honestly. So I guess we should try to figure it out. Obviously, we do not want to go to... It would be better if we sentenced you to death. Because that would make everyone like us, except for the aristocrats. We definitely don't want to let you go free. Prison could be acceptable. Why did you want to withdraw 2 million francs? This is an enormous amount of money. Who is the mysterious M. de Foucault who wrote you the letter? So it may not be Marquis. What do you think about the revolution? What countries did you and your wife visit? What is your wife's profession? Why did you end your military career? And call him the witness, the Louis de Bourbon. Tell me about the 2 million franc loan. I withdrew it at the request of my superior, the Count de Provence, as for its intended purpose. I would dare not ask. How can you borrow so much money for another person and not even question its purpose? An obvious lie. That information would be required to get such a loan. So, how did you get a loan without telling them what it was for? We aristocrats treat each other with respect and discretion you would not understand. Mockery. 2 of your officers testified that the money would be used to aid Citizen Capet and his family in their escape from France. Why did you tell them that? I should ask what the reason for their testimony is. I agree there is a plot, but one against me and not the revolution. The traitor is trying to talk his way out of it. Alright. Tell me about the man that wrote you the letter. Who is this mysterious M. de Foucault who wrote to you the letter concerning your troops? I do not know that person. Anyone could write a letter to me and make up the contents regarding any matter they see fit. And we did say, that's true, he didn't write the letter. Someone else wrote the letter about him. Did that random letter from an unknown person not concern you? It is gibberish. An honest citizen would have shown it to the authorities. It never occurred to me. I do not have the slightest inkling what that person was writing about. Not about the troops that were supposed to enter Paris and end the revolution after the successful rescue of Citizen Capet. There are no troops currently under my command. That letter and the accusation of me sending troops to Paris are both serious misunderstandings. Who else then? He's a dog of the Bourbon's leash. Tell me, would 2 million francs be enough to hire 30,000 foot soldiers? It would be more than enough. You should probably say, I do not know, sir. I'm not in that business. Tell me, what do you think about the revolution? Everyone knows that the state desperately needed reform, but the violence, an unexpected and brutal assault on the royal family should be called revenge, not revolution. So, he didn't really agree with the tactics. So you're saying so you are against revolution, yes? I'm merely disappointed by its course. As a former soldier, I can tell you that violence and war will always result in more hatred and more violence. Yet you are still preparing to forcefully capture the city? That has not been proven. If they hadn't caught him, the streets of Paris would be covered in blood. Nonsense. What are you people talking about? Calm down, Marquis de Favras. Your attitude towards the revolution makes you a traitor to the state in the eyes of the people. I am saddened to hear that a few words of hard truth are enough to call someone a traitor and sentence him to death. Tell me about your wife's profession, sir. She's not doing anything in particular at the moment. Back in Austria, her home, she had attempted to involve herself in politics. With what results? Mediocre, obviously, since we had decided to return to France. There's nothing obvious about that. You could have been successful and returned as spies for the enemy state. Just notice that we never got to the level of execution here. Even asking all the execution things, well, I may have missed one. I don't know. Most of the execution things didn't get us to the level of execution. You may interpret it however you wish, especially if you enjoy bedtime stories. Yeah, we asked all the execution ones and we didn't get to execution. So the jury was never convinced that he was guilty of that. I will call him the witness, though. Let's see what the witness has to say. Please introduce yourself. My name is Louis Saintislas Xavier de Bourbon. I'm the Count of Provence and brother to Louis Capet. There you have it, the traitor's brother. Describe your relations with the brother prior to his death. That's not relevant here. We need to know, what do you know about the plot involving the Marquis de Favras? The bankers Chamel and Sartorius informed me that the Marquis was negotiating a loan of 2 million francs. Did they tell you the reason behind this loan? They did not, and I did not ask. I am not one to pry. Were you somehow involved? I learned about the loan only because Chamel and Sartorius are my close friends. Allow me to repeat what I have already told the Paris Commune. I was not involved in the Marquis de Favras' plot. If you find him guilty, then he should be sentenced to prevent him from harming the revolution. That I wholeheartedly agree with. So you could be just, okay. Yeah, so we never can get to a, if we had not taken that one thing about what did your wife do, like, we could have gotten to execution, but now we can never get to execution. So we need to go with what the jury thinks, and the jury thinks prison. So, did the defendant confess to his crimes? No. Was his act counter-revolutionary? Nature, you always say yes to that, apparently, according to this guy. What did the defendant think about the revolution? He does not support it. He sympathized with the movement, but not with its methods. There you go. What were the 2 million francs spent on? It bought the benevolence of the King of Spain. On the expenses of citizen Capet during the escape. It bought the support of the Duke of York. We never got a straight answer out of that, honestly. So we'll say on the expenses of the citizen Capet. And we'll sign the document. And we will send him to prison. To prison with you, sir. The common folk will not appreciate this very much. But that is what we are signing. That's what the jury has decided. And that is what we are sentencing you today, sir. I sentence Thomas de Mehy, Marquis de Favras, to prison. Take him away. No, no, no. Enemies of the revolution should be beheaded. The judge has lost his mind. I mean, that's not what the jury thought, though. Reputation +1, influence +1. Not so great on the common folk reputation. But we got all 4 points, apparently. Good job, says Tinville, the prosecutor. Common folk -6. Not good. Alright, let's continue on. Got a full dining table here. Obviously, we need the common people to like us, so we need to do whatever the whatever our father wants. Paragraphs and codes. There you go. Or an evening with grandfather. Yeah, let's just do an evening with grandfather then. Sit down with your father and listen to stories of days gone by. There you go. Influence on the people is up. Influence revolutionaries is eh. And here's this board again. So we scouted this area. We put out some of the fervor. And we have a common folk +1, good relationships with the father. An enemy diplomat is taking over a section. So we could go bust his head, which is probably what we want to do. If we sent you here, you guys would fight. But you're not as good of a fighter as this guy. So yes, we would knock his teeth in. We know here that what could we do here? We could increase his influence, or lower the crowd's fervor. Increase our influence, which would be good because we want to control all the areas surrounding us, and our home base. We definitely don't want them to be right on our doorstep. So, yeah, let's increase our influence over this district. How about that? What does the notebook say? Mama is crying. Good relationships with father. Common folk endorsement +1. Yep. So we have one section of influence +3. -10 relationships with the common folk. That's not great. All right, so let's move on. And here we are trying to say bad things about Mr. Roland, exposing the minister's wife. Madame Roland is the true head of the family. She is incredibly ambitious and skillfully maneuvers her husband's career, pushing him onward to more prestigious positions. I doubt that the minister made a single important decision without discussing it with her first. I wouldn't say that's super bad. The so-called political salon held by her turns out to be an exclusive brothel in disguise. Oh. We must attack. Cut them off from their income and from their information. We can use diplomacy or use force. The wives of the convention's deputies will learn the nature of that political salon their husbands tend to frequent. Then they will force you to make sure Roland's brothel is closed down for good, so we can tell on the wives of the husbands that frequent it. Or I want Henriette's guards to turn her establishment upside down. They will surely find something and close that brothel. I mean, we tend to be pretty pacifist in most games we play, so let's just go the diplomacy route. We don't want to bust heads if we don't have to. Sections will be formed the next day. It's a 50% chance. And end the day, I guess. Saving. That's good. Day 11. I may do I don't know. Do I want to end this episode at just 20 minutes long? I may push it out. Maybe we'll do one more day. Let's see here. It's a good split. The common folk want this guy to go free, and the aristocracy want this guy to go free. Your family wanted to put him in prison, and the revolutionaries want him dead. How does that... I mean, we cannot do the death penalty. That will not work well for us. Prison we could work with. Acquittal's not great for the revolutionary, but it is good for the others. So let's see, who do we have here? You are Citizen Vincent Boule. That's me. Did you have anything to do with your brother's fall from the window? What brother? What fall from the window? The stripling was playing on the windowsill and he just... Or this... Surely a stripling is not stripling, right? And he just slipped. You do not appear to feel very sorry for him. He had an accident. Things like that happen. An accident, so you were not involved? He couldn't handle the Prussians, so he started fighting with his family. Mother first drove my father to death, and now she doesn't really look after my brother. You should ask her. Alright, what do we have here? Vincent Boule is a young war invalid. He lost his leg below the knee to a Prussian cannonball. He was discharged from the military and moved in with his mother and a younger brother, 14-year-old Matteo, to an apartment in a tenement. Not long ago, Vincent's brother fell from a window. The doctors say that he broke both legs and his pelvis and would probably never walk again. We learned that on the night of the incident, a loud quarrel could be heard from the widow's apartment. We asked the doctors from Hotel Dieu to examine the boy a second time, and they found both old scars and fresh bruises on his body. Ah, so it sounds like he was abusing the boy. Neighbors told us that during the first months after the return of the wounded soldier, they did not notice anything disturbing. However, eventually, they began to hear screams at night. Vincent was sometimes seen with a bottle of wine, reeking of alcohol, and behaving aggressively. So we're not going to acquit you. That is for sure. So... the best thing sounds like maybe for us to go the old... because, I mean, death penalty, not going to work out for us. So maybe prison is what we shoot for. What are the questions we need to answer? Did the defendant confess to the crimes? Under what circumstances did the boy fall from the window? Were the neighbors complaining about the veteran? Yes. They said he was drinking and being aggressive. We know that already. Let's go ahead and solve the questions, or unlock the questions. We can only make 2 mistakes, and there's 1 trap. War invalid is the offender's personality, or is that extenuating circumstances? Mother and brother. Return of the wounded soldier. That's a course of event. Yep. Scars and bruises. That is witness testimony. Excuse me, sorry. That is course of event. Fall from the window. Course of event. Tenement. War invalid. That's the offender's personality. That's I'm sorry, no, that's not. That's extenuating circumstance. Whatever. Return of the wounded soldier. This could be a trap. There's a trap in here somewhere. Mother and brother. Witnesses. Offender's personality. Tenement. Witnesses. I mean, we know there's witnesses in the tenement, right? Apparently that was the trap. Your mentor cost 2 influence points. Well, he had 6, so... Return of the wounded soldier. It's got to be offender's personality. And mother and brother are witnesses, apparently. Whatever, I don't agree with it, but if you say so. Did you join the army as a very young man? Your neighbors said that when you returned from the war, at first you were calm. Found the widow, Mrs. Boule, as a witness. How would you describe your relationship with your brother? Were you drinking on the night of your brother's fall from the window? How long did you serve in the army? Well, it's not important. It's not important when he joined the army, as far as I'm concerned. That's in the past. Your neighbors say that when you returned from the war, at first you were calm. Yet as time went by, you became increasingly more aggressive. What happened? I don't understand the question, Monsieur le Juge. Of course he doesn't. Squeaky clean, that one. For some time now, your neighbors have been complaining about you. When you started drinking, they began to hear screams from your apartment. I haven't been getting along with my mother recently, but it was nothing serious. You didn't get along, or were you arguing? Nothing serious, just some small disagreements. But it did not start straight after your return? I just can't sleep lately. Tired people are often easily irritable. I mean, we went straight to the prison. How would you describe your relationship with your brother? Mateo, that little maggot, does nothing but eat and ask mother for money because he's too lazy to work. Your brother never worked? Well, he was a baker's or butcher's apprentice. I'm not sure which. Still, whatever he brought home, he ate at once. How about you? Were you working? Or where were you working? Without a leg, what can I do, Roll cigars with women? Be honest with us. Were you beating your brother? He was battering him. You could hear it 2 streets away. Someone has to bring him up as a man. I was raised by my father, but he died when Mateo was 8. There was nobody with a firm hand at home, and now look at him. Not that his father did a great job of raising this one. Yeah. Were you drinking on the night of your brother's fall from the window? No, Monsieur le Juge, that night I was sober. Your neighbors heard screams, probably from the street. Maybe there was another lynching or something. I don't know, I was sleeping. Did you take your brother to the hospital? No, our neighbors did. I found out about everything in the morning when they came to complain. Why did you not take him yourself? Were you ashamed? I couldn't sleep for 3 nights, so when I finally managed to, I slept like a log. We heard you yelling. Did you visit your brother? I was sitting by him when the officer of the guard came to interrogate me. Mateo was asked a bunch of questions, but didn't say anything. I guess he was ashamed to have ruined his health in such a stupid way. Alright, we're up to cutting your head off, dude. Let's call in the witness. Let's call your mother. See what she has to say. How does your younger son fall out of the window? I think he was playing on the windowsill. It happened at night, right? Well, yes. Did he often play at this hour instead of sleeping? My son doesn't have a father. Sometimes he's hard to control. What were you doing on the night of the incident when your son was playing? I was doing the laundry. The boys constantly stain their clothes, and as I work all day, I have to wash them late at night. And your older son, what was he doing? I'm not sure. Could he have been sleeping? No, he suffers from insomnia, and he's beating his family. Your sons get along? Has Vincent ever hit you, citizen? Do your sons get along? Well, I mean, neither one of these really says, did he push your son out the window? Your other son out the window. Has he hit you? I mean, even if he has hit someone else in the past, doesn't mean he did this specific act. I mean, and just because they might have fought in the past doesn't mean he did this act. So neither one, I think, is a good question, even though it lends towards his credibility or his, his personality. But do your sons get along? Well, you know what boys are like. They'll fight from time to time, but that's just how they are. Stop defending him, woman. Your older son is no longer a child. He'll always be a child to me. If you have children, you know what I'm talking about. Was Vincent hitting Mateo? Not at all. He's a good boy. They would sometimes get into a struggle together, but children do. Did he ever hurt him? When he was 15, you know what I'm asking about. My son is a decent person. I don't really understand why he was arrested. Well, that didn't change the matter much. So because we honestly don't want to behead the guy, I mean, let's look back. If we death penalty him, the common folk are not going to like it. So we have to get him to prison. So we need to ask some prison questions. How long did you serve in the army? Over a year. The whole time I was thinking about going back to my mother and brother. And once you returned home, the trouble started. They didn't understand me. They don't know what it's like when your friend's blood splatters over your face. They were complaining that I scream at night. I was calling Pinard. I dreamt about him every night. A bullet went through his cheek. Oh, so you're literally not just a drunk. You have PTSD. That's kind of an extenuating circumstance. Did Pinard survive? I don't know. 2 days later, I was hit with the cannonball. I have no idea what happened to him. Your neighbors also complained about screams, probably because he was having night terrors. They never had to shake someone's guts off their shoes. What do they know about screams and fear? Do you want us to feel sorry for you? You can all go jump in the river for all I care. Did you join the army as a very young man? I was under 20. Losing a leg must have been a difficult experience. I don't want to talk about it. How did it happen? I don't want to talk about it. Citizen, tell us how you lost your leg. I don't remember. Maybe he was shot in the head, not his leg. Fine, let us remember this. You do not remember the exact moment. What about the day of the incident? Were you on the offensive? It has nothing to do with a stupid child falling out the window. Citizen, we are doing you a favor by hearing you out, so be so good as to not shout. Did you start drinking because of your leg? No, it's insomnia. I can't fall asleep these days without a glass of wine. I mean, honestly, if you're mentally incompetent, well, we don't know if you know right from wrong. If you know it's wrong to push your brother out the window, you're not insane. So I don't believe you can go free on technicality if you don't understand. However, I do think you're guilty, but I think that we have the extenuating circumstances or whatever kind of to diminish the outcome or diminish the verdict. So I do think that it is in your favor that we find that you are in PTSD. So you may have been competent and aware of your actions, but some part of it was not your fault. You were kind of driven that way by psychosis. So I feel pretty comfortable giving you prison, which is what the jury wants. Anyways, the defendant confessed to the crime. He did not. Under what circumstances did the boy fall from the window? He was playing in the windowsill, according to all the testimony. But I still believe that you should go to prison, sir. I feel sorry about this because it's not going to turn your life around, but I think you're a danger to your family and to society. Honestly, I wish we could do better for you. I wish we could send you somewhere else that could help you. If we could send you to, what did they have in the 1700s? I don't know if we have mental institutions in the 1700s. If we could send you to a school for learning, if we could send you to a monastery, someplace to help you get a grips with yourself and learn new skills, that would be better, but we don't have that. We have prison. Since Bull, for your crimes against your own family, I sentence you to prison. Chain the bastard up into the quarry with him. So, 3 of 3. Good job. Reputation up. Influence up. The common folk and the aristocrats liked it a little bit. The revolutionaries didn't. Yeah, revolutionaries -5. Alright, let's move on. What kind of event is this? It's raining. We're walking through an alleyway. Oh, we're gonna get waylaid by somebody coming out of the darkness. Yep, there's a guy with a truncheon. I think that's the right word. Truncheon. I mean, it's club. And there's more guys. We're surrounded suddenly. Oh, we are in fact stabbed. Not good. We're bleeding. I mean, they didn't do a killing shot. I mean, it looks pretty deadly. No. They are in fact following up. We look pretty destroyed. But they wouldn't end the game here, honestly. No, someone's dragging us away. Who's dragging us away?
Why? Tell me. What have you done? You. Why are you making me suffer?
Who is it? Tell us, Alexis.
Sleep.
Grace Elliott. Who's Grace Elliott?
I'm by your side.
Who are you, Grace Elliott?
Who are you?
Exactly, that's what I want to know.
I do not want to sleep. Not yet.
Can someone tell the man's family that he's here? And now we're having nightmares.
I remember now. I have a family.
Exactly, you do, and they're probably worried about you right now.
Where are you? The one who makes me suffer.
Who is the one that makes you suffer? The guy that stabbed you? I mean, it can't be that direct. It can't be that obvious, right? Act 1, Liberté, day 12. So there was no being at home with the family. There was no, here we are at home with the family. Excuse me. You were unconscious for a long while, says Gregory Ramel. Excuse me, this is not our family. This is the people we're staying with. Even though their home looks remarkably like our home. Who is this man who apparently saved my life? Gregory Ramel. You don't know me, although I know quite a lot about you. The lady next to me is... I know, Grace Elliott. You were the one who sewed me up. It is not my first time saving someone's life. There are more victims of the revolution than you think. You encroached on Minister Roland's position. Of course, Roland. And more importantly, on the business managed by his enterprising wife, on the establishment from which their allies, Jean-Nicolas Parche, the mayor of Paris, and Jean-Baptiste Gobel, the Archbishop of Paris, got cut to the profit. Oh. So there were some wealthy people, or some high up, famous people involved in that brothel, huh? I didn't know. If this information was easy to learn, it means that someone was doing their job properly. But you know. Yes, because I make my living by learning secrets. Word on the street is that the Girondins are planning to take over the convention by force. The king's humiliation and the revealing of the connection between the crown traitor and Roland, a prominent Girondin, weakened them. This chance might be seized on by the Jacobins, with Robespierre and Danton at the helm. This may be their moment. I want no part in this. These people are not fooling around. Well, clearly not. They stabbed you right in the gut. I'm afraid you have no say in the matter, at least as long as the Rolands are alive. As soon as they learn you survived the attack, they will try again. Your death sentence is already signed. You seem to know much about me. How? I don't understand. Enough for now. You have to rest, regain your strength and your wounds. I knew your brother. Monsieur Gregory, you are right. We will speak of this another time. I have yet to thank you for. You will have another chance. Okay. So everyone likes it that I'm not around. Somehow everyone was like, hey, we like it when he's been stabbed in the gut. You need to rest and heal after that treacherous assault. Or maybe they know that I'm well and they're feeling better because they know I'm well. Oh, no, you went down. You went down. You went up. Whatever. Whatever. The relationships there. Yep, we knocked him out. And we put a point. Oh, so we're starting to fill in. Excuse me, the monarchist scheme. There it is, the first piece of the puzzle. Let us fill in the rest with the corpses of enemy agents. Revolutionary Patrol. The patrol may imprison your agent or capture an enemy agent. We'll just stay away from those jokers then. So right now, let's think about this. We have an enemy diplomat fighting. Yeah, so we'll knock him out. So we're putting faces in here. We're starting to know who this character is. We don't really know. It doesn't look like Roland, honestly. So what you can do, Mr. Diplomat, is you can lower the crowd's fervor, but the fervor seems to be fairly low. I mean, not here, though. But I probably shouldn't move you in while those two are fighting. That's probably a waste. I don't want to move you here because the Revolutionary Patrol. So I'll move you here and unlock this section. Yeah, you're scouting. Okay. End the day, please. Day 13. How were your wounds? Okay, we are back home. They're healing, all thanks to our new friends. Really? What is the matter? Let me remind you that you have been resting here in this house. This is where they carried you, and it is your family that has been waiting on you hand and foot. Us, your family, whom you are putting in danger. You think I wanted to be stabbed in an alleyway? Your wife wants what is best for your family. Your brother... My brother wanted to protect our family by fighting back against those who threatened us, while you just wanted to wait. But I've seen the head of a king roll as easily as a tradesman's. Only power... You are the judge of the tribunal. You have power. It is the people who paid these assassins, the Rolands, or whoever they answer to, who have power. They are the ones who wield life and death in the city. Let us hope that they do not kill us all before you grab your precious power, says my obviously upset wife. Well, the influence of the people is great now. We need to influence other revolutionaries, apparently. So what does Bernard have to say? Political debate? Bernard would love that. My father really wouldn't. The viola concerto. I mean, my father wouldn't like it, but everyone else would. So let's go for that one. All right, viola concerto. Didn't really raise you high enough, though. Well, what happened? What did I miss? You moved. You moved. Oh, you fought. A what? A what? Dear friend, I heard that you were recovering from a hideous attempt at assassination. Your dispute with Minister Roland has led to mobilization of Girondins who wish to take over the convention and most probably restore tyranny. In order to defend the Republic, my group would like to strike first and arrest the leaders of the coup. The list of suspects is not conclusive yet, since we are still not sure which of the Rolands should be accused of trying to assassinate you, says Robespierre, or Robespierre, or whatever they say, Robespierre. Spies on the enemy, so the black-coated guy is a spy. Spies on the enemy, lures opponents, and helps the diplomat control a territory. Oh, that's our guy. Okay, excuse me, I thought he was an enemy guy. You can lure the enemy agents. What are you doing? You're taking over a section? Will not happen, sir. Raphael Clovis is wounded. So, what? You can't do anything. We could send you home. But I probably don't want to be involved with this revolutionary patrol. So I'll just leave you here? And you can heal up, maybe? You have, there's a neutral attitude over here. Faction of the people, faction of revolutionaries, faction of the people. If I moved you here, you could fight the diplomat who's trying to take over our area. Hopefully the spy can fight. I don't know if he can. You can, please increase the influence in this district, because this is a red district. Okay, we'll end that. Intrigue is over, I think. Exposing the minister's wife failed, which it was probably always going to fail, even though it said 50%. It was probably a scripted event that it failed. Counterattack. Day 6. Went from day 3 to day 6. Whenever we get to another thing in the courtroom, I'll end the episode. Citizen Robespierre and his spies report that the Girondins are allegedly preparing for an attack on the Jacobins, whom they want to arrest and kill en masse. It was Roland who befriended the aristocrats. Everything is If it was Roland who befriended the aristocrats, everything is starting to fall into place. Roland knows that you survived. You can assume that the events in the convention will be followed by another assassination attempt. Robespierre suggests we strike first. If we arrest prominent Girondins, we will cut off the member of the Hydra's head with one blow. Cut off a number of the Hydra's heads. Okay. Our actions is we can sign the paper, and that's it. We are indicting all these people, who I will not read out, because it's not important. I guess we will do the only action we have. Stamp it. And be done with it. Choose action. Important decision. Sometimes you will have to make a decision that will affect an entire intrigue. Think about it carefully. Decide who will be brought to justice. Arrest. Arrest. Who do we arrest? Jean-Marie Roland openly attacked you. You have strong evidence against him, so sentencing him should not pose any problems. His wife, on the other hand, may have enough time to escape, which could have unwelcome consequences. Or we arrest the wife. The assassination attempt was performed by people hired by Jean-Marie Roland. It was her from the very beginning. By arresting her, you will get rid of the source of the problem. Her husband, however, the person granted power by the convention, will slip out of your hands. I'm going for the man. I'm arresting him. Achievement unlocked, Golden Idol. Achievement unlocked, No Turning Back. Don't know what those are for. You can't see them, of course, but they were here. A perfect intrigue. Reputation +8. Common folks +3. Aristocrats +3. Revolutionaries +3. And close. Are we never going to get back to a trial? Oh, this is the same stuff. Okay, yeah. So nothing's changed here. It's just time to end the day. I gotcha. All these people are still trying to do the same thing they were trying to do before. Now we know Roland is down here and Fidel has moved up the ladder a little bit. Alright, end the day. Saving. That's a good sign. Day 14. Well, I'll probably just end this here. This isn't really a trial, but we did see the save logo, so seems like a good enough time to end it. And we will meet back up with Raymond Devilliers when we return in the next episode. But until then, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again next time.